I want to talk to you today about something that will not only affect your life here on earth, but your eternal destiny. There's two judgments. The Bible mentions two judgments. If you don't believe the Bible, just hang with me for a second. Just listen to me. Just hear me out. There's two judgments. One for the believer that believes in Christ, and the second one for the unbeliever who dies in their sins, who have never asked Jesus to forgive them of their sins. Okay, let's talk about the one for the unbeliever. I pray that you would listen to this. It's so important. Revelation 20. It talks about, then I saw, and this was John, one of the disciples of Jesus Christ, was given a vision of the future and the judgments. And the judgment is called the Great White Throne Judgment for the unbeliever, the person that's never accepted Jesus Christ. And he writes, then I saw a great white throne and him who sat upon it, from whose presence earth and heaven fled away, and no place was found for them. There was people that there, and they were like, oh my gosh, they died, and all of a sudden now they're at this great white throne, and they're looking for a place to hide. But it says heaven and earth, the heavens we know, like we can see, and the earth drifted away. It's kind of like somebody pulls back the curtains and there's nowhere to hide. And I saw the dead, the great and the small, standing before the throne, and books were opened, and another book was opened, which is the book of life. And the dead were judged from the things which were written in the books, according to their deeds. Okay, let's stop for a minute and recap, see what's going on here. Okay, he sees, in this vision, he sees a great white throne, that this is where the unbelievers are going to stand. Heaven and earth flees away, and there's no place for them to hide. Then he sees the dead, the great, the millionaires, the billionaires, but also he sees the small, people that are poor and who have never really made it in life. The billionaire could do anything he wanted, pretty much. He had all this money, and somebody who was poorer, might even be living in a mission somewhere. But now everybody's on equal playing field at this great white throne judgment. And they were standing before the throne. It'd be like going to a courtroom, a spiritual courtroom in heaven. And it says, another book was opened, which is the book of life. When you ask Jesus to forgive you of your sins and to come dwell inside you and to live his life through you, your name is written in the book of life. And it says the dead were judged from the things which were written in the books. So there was two books open. I saw the great and the dead, and the small standing before the throne, and books were open. Okay, books were open, and another book was open, which is the book of life. Okay, now one book is thought to be a book where all your deeds are recorded that you've done throughout your whole life. But another book is opened. That's the book that when you ask Jesus to forgive you and you become a Christian, your name is written down in that book. And if your name is written down in the book of life, you're not judged by all the deeds that you've done on this earth. You're not judged by all the evil deeds and good deeds that you've done on the earth. If your name is written in the book of life, you're automatically going to heaven. Okay, then it goes on to say the sea gave up the dead, which is like the people that died, at sea, gave up the dead. And death and Hades, there's a place, if you die and you're not a Christian, you'll go to a place called Hades, which is in the center of the earth. And it says this place in the center of the earth gave up its dead, and they also became to the great white throne. And they were judged, every one of them, according to their deeds. You don't want to be judged by your deeds. Then death and Hades were thrown into the lake of fire. This is the second death, the lake of fire. And if anyone's name was not found written in the book of life, he was thrown into the lake of fire. So I'm pleading with you right now, just wherever you're at. It's so simple. I did it when I was a kid. I was so young. I woke up one morning real early. I was probably like 6 or 7, and nobody was awake, and it was just like dawn. And I went in there and I turned on the television, And I was watching television, and there was a lady on there, and I think she might have been playing with puppets or something. But it was a show for kids, and it was a Christian show. And at the end, she said, if there's anybody watching that wants to be a Christian, say, Jesus Christ, please forgive me of my sins. Please come live your life through me. I believe that you died for me and that you rose on the third day and you went to heaven. And as a little kid, I did it, and I was born again. And when I was 7, right then, my name was written in the book of life. And so all the deeds I've done that I'm not proud of throughout my life, I'm not judged by those. I'm only judged by the fact that my name is in the book of life. And like I said, there's a place called Hades. If you die right now as a sinner, there's no second chance. This is it. If you die as a sinner, you'll go to the center of the earth to a place called Hades, and it's a place of torment and flames and darkness. And you'll be there until this time where you'll be pulled up from there and brought to this courtroom. It's kind of like being in a county jail, waiting to go before the judge and be sentenced to a penitentiary. And the penitentiary is a place called Gehenna, which is the lake of fire. And it's an eternal place that you'll be there 1 trillion years from now. You'll still be there. Trillions and trillions and trillions and trillions and trillions and trillions of years from now, you'll still be in this place of outer darkness. Place where people gnash their teeth and wail. It's a horrific place. You'll be there for all eternity. Please don't be a fool. Please don't go there. I encourage you to do everything that you feel like the Lord has called you to do, because I believe your whole eternity hinges on it. If you haven't received Christ, I pray right now that you would just ask Jesus Christ to forgive you of your sins, and you'll be born again. That means you'll pass from death to life, and that's what you need. Friend, I'll see you next time. God bless.